folks, and welcome to In the Kitchen with Pete. Today's simple and delicious recipe, tomato and roasted garlic soup. We got three things to get organized before we start building our soup. We're going to saute some onions, we're going to roast some garlic, and make our little basil bits. Simply, all I did was bake up some fresh basil from the garden. So let's get those three items going, and then we'll build our soup. So first we need a half of a white onion. We're just going to rough cut that. We'll be blending up this soup after, so no need to cut it too fine. We'll get that on the stove. We'll simmer it for about 5-6 minutes just to soften up those onions. For our garlic, you want to cut the tops off like so. I like to use a serrated knife because the stems in these sometimes are quite tough. So you just want to take about 1/2 inch off, like so. Any loose paper you can remove. Next, let's get a piece of tin foil. And we're going to drizzle that with just a touch of olive oil. Cover it up. And you can use these little pans just to keep them upright. 45 minutes at 400 degrees. And now to our basil bits. Well, now it's the fun time. We get to build our soup. You can see my roasted garlic came out just beautifully after 45 minutes in the oven. Lots of uses for this roasted garlic. Sometimes some people find garlic, kind of pungent, a very strong taste. When you roast it, it sweetens it up, it tames down the flavor. It's great in lots of recipes. Roasted garlic mashed potatoes, soups, sauces. You can also use this just if you're going to make some garlic toast. Spread this on some toast, or you can mix it up with a little bit of butter, maybe some sour cream. But you can see when we squeeze it out, they just pop out, all those beautiful cloves. We're going to get those all into the pot. I'm going to use the whole head. And then next, we're going to get to our tomatoes. Use a good quality canned Italian plum tomato. That's what we've got here, 1 28-ounce can. You can mash those up a little bit with a potato masher, just so it spreads around a little more evenly. And I had 1 tomato left from my garden, so waste not, want not. Let's add that in there too. Nothing too scientific about this. And then next, we have our sauteed onions. 1/2 onion that we sauteed. 1 cup of fresh Parmesan cheese. When you grate it yourself, it's nice and fluffy. And then I have 6 fresh basil leaves that I just chopped up, and 1/2 teaspoon of each salt and pepper. And then we want some chicken stock, about 1 liter, 32 ounces. If you're going to use the store-bought, use a low sodium. This is my homemade chicken broth that I made. You can find out how to make that on episode 43 on In the Kitchen with Pete. The recipe's there. So let's add that to our soup. And let's get that over to the stove. So we brought it to a boil. We'll turn the heat down, partially cover it, and then let it simmer for 45 minutes. It's been 40 minutes. It's time to blend up our soup. You have a couple of choices. I'm going to be using an immersion blender. However, you can also use your blender. Just remember, when you're using one of these blenders, to remove this top. You'll make a big mess. Just put a towel over this, blend her up. But I'm going to use my immersion blender, also known as a stick blender. Tip it up on an angle, continue to blend. That's looking pretty good. Next, we're going to add 1 cup of cream. I've got half and half. If you'd like a heavier cream, that's fine, or just simply milk will do. It's time to serve it up. And what could go better with our tomato soup? Some nice grilled cheese sticks for dipping. Well, that was another simple and delicious recipe. If you enjoy the recipe, give me a thumbs up, or you can subscribe to my videos and you'll get notified every Monday when I put out a new simple and delicious recipe. Well, tomato soup. Maybe you like crackers in it. Maybe you like croutons. I'm going to put a little bit of my nice roasted basil bits in there. And then what's better with a tomato soup is a grilled cheese. I've whipped up a nice grilled cheese and I've cut it into strips for dippers. I get to try the goods now. Wow. Oh man, you're gonna love that soup. That roasted garlic isn't too powerful, just comes through nicely. The fresh herbs, lots of tomatoes, you're gonna love it. Well, thanks for watching In the Kitchen with Pete. Until next time, see ya.